I'm a guy that's 24. Each day I build some more. I like episode 7 and episode 8. I'm Rich Boy J.
Alright, Chad, if you ask me to react to Murder on Anakin's Mind one more time, I'm never going to make a video again. And I'm going to blame the failure of episode 2 on all of you.
Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here back with another video, and this is going to be another episode of Your Questions Answered. I first want to give a very special thanks to Star Wars Theory for that awesome intro. If you know, you know. But you guys know how it goes. This is a series where I answer questions directly from you, so leave them in the comment section below. They can be Lego Star Wars related, or if you feel inclined to, ask me any random question. First question is going to come from Brick Pigeon. He says, do you think you would ever do a collab with Matt and or David? If so, what mock would you want to build? I would love to do a collab with Matt and or David, preferably both of them. That'd be awesome. As for what mock I would like to do, this is the difficult thing when doing a collab because there are so many mocks that I really want to do as solo projects that I have specific visions for. And I don't know if it's really fair to like do a collab with someone and really be like, oh, it has to be this way because this is my vision for it. So those mocks I'd rather just do on my own. But if I was to do something that was a collab, I would probably want to do something that it would be either just like far-fetched for me to do on my own or just straight up impossible to do on my own. There are a few things that come to mind, namely the Invisible Hand. I think the Invisible Hand is a beautiful looking capital ship, and I've always been enamored by the idea of building not necessarily a minifig scale version of it, but a large scale capital ship in Lego. I think that has the potential to be something super unique. Like you don't see that done very often, and especially with the Invisible Hand, there's a ton of memorable scenes that you can recreate there, like the hangar, like the room where they confront Dooku, the main bridge area, the hallways that they get captured in. Like there's so many cool, unique things I think you could do with the Invisible Hand as a large scale build. So I think teaming up with a group of people on a project that would be that massive would probably be the best way to go for that. And I think that would be a really fun collab if we just ever end up in one place for an extended period of time with a big collection of Lego. Let's make it happen. Next question comes from Battle Droid Commander Karam. He says, question, will you ever make a separatist droid army in Lego? So I've talked about this a little bit before with the 501st Battle Pack specifically. I love the 501st Troopers that we're getting in it. That is obviously the biggest appeal to it, but I feel this what's kind of going under the radar are the inclusion of battle droids in this set, and I love that. I don't have a huge battle droid army as it stands. When I was younger, I had 2 of the 7662 2007 MTTs, so I had a decent amount, but like those figures are so old by now, a lot of the joints are weak. I don't have a ton of new battle droids in decent condition. So the 501st Battle Pack is going to be a great way for me to not only build my 501st army, but also my battle droid army. And I think that's really going to encourage me to start looking into maybe getting some more custom separatist vehicles in my collection. Like I just recently built all those AATs, and that was a super fulfilling experience for me. So I think with the 501st Battle Pack, it's really going to encourage me to maybe look a little bit deeper, perhaps even design my own separatist vehicles. Who knows? Stay tuned. Next question comes from Ada Gunek. I hope I pronounced that right. He says, what is the most useless Lego piece? This is always a difficult question to ask because there's tons of pieces that are useless to me for the specific things that I build, but other people might find them super useful. Like I thought a lot of the like neon orange and dark blue elements and Nexonites, for example, were things that I'd probably never build with, but I'm sure there are tons of builders who appreciated getting all those like trans neon orange elements in weird pieces. If there's one just piece, regardless of color, that I've kind of seen where I've been like, I don't know why I would need that. There's 2 of them that come to mind. There's this 2x4 jumper plate that I've seen where it's basically just 2x2 jumpers combined together. That kind of seems like a silly piece in my opinion. And then there's also the Lego T plate. It's a plate that literally just looks like a T. That also just seems like a piece that I'd never have a use for. And up until this point, I haven't had a use for. But that's the thing about useless Lego pieces, right? They're only useless until they're not. Until you find yourself in that weird building position where you're like, oh crap, like I actually need this specific piece for this. So Lego's so versatile and there's so many things that can be built. I won't rule out those pieces. Like if it were up to me, I wouldn't say we don't need those pieces to be pieces. But as it stands, those are pieces that I don't see myself using anytime soon. Next question comes from Stormtrooper Lego. He says, Bob, where's my 32 pack of boil water? Jedi Bob, get on it, man. This man needs his water. His question is, will you do time lapses in your build series in the future? So I have done them before. I used to do them far more regularly than I do now. Honestly, like, I mean, part of it, I guess, is laziness. If I really wanted to do time lapses, I could. But just the way I build, like, for me, building is more of an organic experience. Like, if I decide, oh, I'm going to work on something today, I could sit down and I could think about it for a little while. I might like browse on the internet, but I don't like being in a hyper organized building environment where I'm gonna sit down, let me turn on my camera, and let me just work on this thing on camera for this specific amount of time. That's why you won't see me doing a ton of time lapses. I don't know, sometimes I just get an idea and I'm like, oh, let me try this out. And I don't really want to be bothered with having to set up a camera. I know it sounds like a petty thing. Setting up a time lapse is not super difficult, but it is something you have to like set up, and I have to make sure I'm getting progress done while the camera's going. So I don't know, like I don't really enjoy building under the confines of time lapses. I know it's enjoyable for you guys, and if I'm ever building something that's kind of monotonous where I'm just stacking bricks, I think it's simple to do it then because I don't have to think of any designs. I'm just building something that I know that I have to build. But if you're ever wondering why I don't do time lapses that often, it's really just because I don't know, it's just not fun for me. Like, if I get inspired about a particular thing I want to build, I just jump right into it. Like, I don't really have the patience to sit down and get my camera set up for a time lapse. I'm going to try to be better about it, but I really can't commit to saying, oh, I'm going to for sure do time lapses on my updates. So hopefully you guys can live with that. It's just one of my quirks. Next question comes from insert channel name. He says, do you think that Chirrut from Rogue One made the Stormtroopers have bad aim in the scene on Scarif he uses the Force to dodge the bullets, or he used it to change their aim? Or do you think all Stormtroopers just always have bad aim? I mean, you can't say they have bad aim because they do end up shooting him. And I don't think that what you're supposed to gather from that scene is he somehow altered their aim. I think that was just the moment where he shows you the power of trusting in the Force. He was able to basically avoid the lasers and make it to the master switch and flip that. I don't think it's the case where he just like temporarily altered their aim. But then, I mean, you think about the biggest plot point of the prequels, the diminished use of the Force. And I don't know, maybe that is possible. Maybe he just temporarily confused all the stormtroopers and then they just straight up couldn't aim at him until they did and ultimately killed him. Next question comes from MG Seymour. He says, number 65 question, what is your long-term Lego expansion goals in your room? And Mock's long-term being 5 to 10 years. That's a really good question. I think for my just general Lego collection, I'm planning on just buying all the sets. That's just what I've been doing for the past 3 or 4 years, and I've been pretty consistent with it. I think in the past 3 to 4 years, the only set that I've missed is the helmet sets, and I still stick to that. I refuse to buy those helmet sets, but other than that, I've been pretty spot on with buying all the Lego sets that have been released, specifically the Lego Star Wars sets. I don't want any confusion here. And just, collecting all the minifigs. I like to keep up with all the new minifigs that are being put out. You can see behind me, that's my minifig wall, and it's coming together. And even though I'm not constantly adding the new figures to the wall, because I just reached the point where you can't really add more figures until I reconfigure some things, I still would like to keep up with them, because at some point, I'm going to add those figures, and I don't want to be significantly behind when I do that. As for mocks, I really can't disclose what mocks I'm going to do. One, I like keeping an element of surprise, and two, I honestly just don't know what mocks I'm going to be building 5 to 10 years from now. So that's something that you're just going to have to wait and see. Hopefully that'll be an exciting journey for you guys. Outside of that, I'm going to still want to keep on building other people's mocks to just bolster my Lego vehicle collection. Over this past quarantine, I've really taken this time to look into other people's builds and get like nicely custom detailed models in my collection, and it's been such a blast. Like, I have so many new ships in my collection, and I want to keep going at that. Certain Lego sets, I'm fine having that version of it in my collection, like it's good enough. But for the most part, like if it's a ship I really care about, I like having a nicely detailed version of it, and I like having multiples of that nicely detailed version. Final question today is going to come from Mets fan. He says, for the next YQA, if you were forced to give away all of your Lego sets except for one, which one would you keep? This is a great question. I love this question. So honestly, if I had to just like part ways with all of my Lego collection but only keep one set, I would probably go with the most recent Death Star set. I don't think it's a secret that the Death Star sequence in Episode 4 is probably my favorite sequence out of anything in Star Wars. So having all those scenes from the Death Star and even the Death Star 2 recreated in Lego in one specific set, like if I just couldn't have any Lego, I'd like something all encompassing like that. It comes with all the most important figures for me as a Star Wars fan. It would be a difficult thing. It would be so difficult trying to pick one set. A question that I'd like to pass on to you guys: if you had to part ways with all your collection except for one set, what's the one set that you guys would keep in your collection? But that's going to finish up the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed listening to your questions answered. As always, leave your questions in the comment section below. Literally, ask me anything. I like to still keep an emphasis on Lego Star Wars, but I'm opening it up. You guys can ask me personal questions, I guess, and I might answer them. But that's going to finish it up. If you guys like what I do, go ahead and support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.